Hey everybody, so this is my super grungy bike that I went out and rode yesterday out on the Highline Canal Trail, which is basically a little urban gravel trail here in South Denver, Colorado. And anyway, here in the apartment I'm trying to figure out a good way to clean this bike up, because I may have to be riding it tomorrow, or I will be. So I just put it out here on the balcony when I got finished, and this is how it's been sitting since yesterday. So time to de-thaw this thing, clean it up, and get her back rideable in an apartment. So as you can see, these wheels are frozen in there solid. So that's one thing as far as riding with fenders. If the weather's wet but it freezes as you're riding through it, then that's why you would kind of want to avoid fenders. But anyway, at this point I'm just trying to strip all the bits and things off the bike, get the bottle off, lights, bags. This thing was, the little light bracket was just frozen in place, so I ended up just washing it with it on there. But the first step was just to remove the wheels. So this is a little trick, being in an apartment that I've done at my house before, where essentially just put the bike in the kind of break it down and then rinse it off in the shower. If you have access, if you have a garage or you have a house that you live in, I've known guys that have had a T gone off of the hot water on the washing machine and just rinse it off with hot water outside. But being outside, frigid winter, it's difficult to do. So anyway, this is just a spare shower. We've got two, and this is the one we typically don't ever use. So yeah, basically just set the wheels in there for a bit, let it kind of melt just slightly, and then just rinse it off with hot water. If you've got the kind of the handheld shower head type thing, those work the best, but this one's just fixed in position, so I kind of made the stream as direct as I could and basically just rinsed them off there, and then just took an old rag. Normally I would get a bucket of some soapy water or something and soap them up, but I didn't had minimal tools and things here at the house. So I just rinsed it off and then just wiped everything down. I had a few old rags and stuff, so that's basically what I did. Got the wheels going first there and got them pretty dry, and then set them out on a towel, and then put the bike in there. So normally if you put it by the tips of the fork legs and the hoods of the handlebars, you can prop it up like this and lean it up against something and kind of maneuver it around there just a little bit, and that worked pretty well for me. With that big massive fender shaped ice chunk there, that definitely made it hard to ride while that thing was building up, because as soon as you stop it would kind of want to lock up, so you really had to keep moving. Another little tip for riding in the winter cold is, in weather like this, is it's better to run like a mountain bike type pedal. I had road pedals on, and set your foot down one time and it's almost impossible to get back in there. So anyway, while that bike's drip drying, caught a sweet view out of my window. It's leaves are starting to fall. Kind of got a view of the snowy mountains. But anyway, just got my little rag there and wiping her down and everything, and worked out pretty well. It's it wasn't, typically if it's on the road, you'll get a lot of that black road grime, where this was mainly just frozen water and just kind of a sandy gravel grit type stuff. So cleanup wasn't too bad, and I had actually just degreased my chain and everything a few days before. That's kind of the mess there that ended up in the bottom of the shower. So that was the biggest cleanup after I got everything done. Still got some big chunks of sand ice mix something. So anyway, just took a little bit to rinse it all down, rinse the walls off, and probably cleaner than new with all that scrubbing action and such of that gritty sand stuff. Yeah, so now I'm just putting it all back together, and but yeah, like I say, I'd cleaned cleaned off my drivetrain, and then I used some of that finish line one-step lube that I'd used before, and I noticed it worked really well as far as whenever I was riding. It never felt like the chain was really dry, but it stayed really clean, so it kind of made the cleanup a lot easier. This is what I got here at home. This my old Rock and Roll Gold lube, this is definitely probably my last few years my favorite lube. So we'll do a little test starting here, and I'll keep track of how many miles, and I'll make a little video on how I think this lube compares to the finish line lube that I just did a little test on. But anyway, the chain was, more or less pretty dry at this point, and or pretty clean, I guess you could say. So I put the lube on, and yeah, at this point, just bike's not perfectly clean, but it's cleaner than I guess before I went riding yesterday anyway. So yeah, it worked out pretty well. Probably took me about, I don't know, 45 minutes total time-wise. So pretty happy with the results. So anyway, hopefully you found this video helpful, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you got anything out of the video, or give it a thumbs up or whatnot. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, and thanks for watching.